The fortune teller once told me that one day, I would wear a golden robe and eat fish and steak every day. But Ethan Walker never imagined that this day would arrive so quickly. Before even graduating from college, Ethan was already working multiple jobs just to survive. To support himself and his girlfriend, he spent his days wearing a food delivery uniform, riding an electric bike through every street and alley of River City, California. Today was special. It was Emily Carter's birthday. After completing his final delivery of the morning, Ethan planned to take her out for a simple but heartfelt celebration. With excitement in his heart, Ethan walked into the Grand Seasons Hotel, delivery bag in hand. At that very moment, the elevator doors opened. A young couple walked out, arms tightly wrapped around each other. The man wore a crisp Armani shirt, a Rolex on his wrist, and BMW keys dangling from his belt. The woman beside him wore a short skirt that revealed her long, fair legs. Her face was flushed, her expression intimate and radiant. They were laughing, flirting, completely absorbed in each other. Ethan froze. "Emily?" His voice echoed through the lobby. The woman stiffened instantly. She tried to pull away, but the man tightened his grip around her waist. "What are you scared of?" The man sneered. "Do you still want to get back together with this broke delivery guy?" The man wasn't tall. In fact, without his designer clothes, he would disappear into any crowd. His name was Ryan Cole, Ethan's former classmate, a well-known rich second-generation heir on campus. Emily's initial panic vanished. What replaced it was cold indifference. "Ethan," she said flatly, "since you've seen it, I'll be honest. I'm with Ryan now." Ethan staggered backward, but he ignored Ryan completely and reached for Emily's hand. "Emily, come back with me. I'll give you happiness. I swear." "Don't touch me," she snapped, pushing him away. "Happiness? Can you afford the phone I want? The bags I like? Even watching a movie with you feels like suffering. Today is my birthday. What did you plan to give me?" "Hope." "I'm poor now," Ethan said through clenched teeth, "but I'll work hard. I promise." "Work hard?" Emily laughed mockingly. "You're an orphan. No money. No family. No background. You'll deliver food your whole life. How can you compare to Ryan?" Ryan smirked. "Wake up, Ethan. She's not going back with you. Why don't you go back to delivering burgers?" "I've wanted to say this for a long time," Emily said coldly. "You're not good enough for me. We're done." She turned, instantly softening her tone. "Ryan, let's go." She wrapped her arms around him willingly. Ryan glanced back at Ethan with contempt. "A poor man doesn't deserve love. Remember that." They walked toward a BMW parked outside the hotel, leaving Ethan standing alone. Anger, pain, humiliation, helplessness, all twisted together in his chest. Just because he's rich, you can humiliate me like this? Ethan clenched his fists so tightly that his nails cut into his palms, blood seeping out. He and Emily had met during their freshman year. Back then, she had seemed pure, gentle, someone who loved him for who he was. But over the past 2 years, she had used money to humiliate him repeatedly. Still, he endured it all. Worked harder. Delivered more food. Just to support her. And now? She had been secretly sleeping with a rich heir behind his back. Ethan didn't chase after her. What right did a poor man have to compete with a billionaire's son? But one thing was clear now. He had finally seen through her. "Emily Carter," Ethan said quietly, eyes burning. "Everything you did to me today, I will repay tenfold." Later, River City University cafeteria. "Man, I told you ages ago," his roommate Jake Miller sighed. "She was never from our world. Beautiful, flirty, hot girls like that don't stay with poor guys. There's a saying," Jake continued. "Poor men worship goddesses. Rich men enjoy beauties. Girls like her? They're always warming someone else's bed. At least you slept with her, right?" Jake added. "You didn't lose out." "I didn't," Ethan said quietly. Jake nearly screamed. "You dated for 2 years and didn't sleep together?" "We stayed in hotels," Ethan replied. 2 beds. Nothing happened." Jake collapsed dramatically. "That's a loss of billions." Ethan smiled bitterly. He had truly loved her, respected her, That's why he never forced anything. He glanced at his phone. Maybe the only upside of the breakup was that he could finally stop delivering food. Suddenly, ding, a bank notification appeared. Your account ending in 4466 has received a deposit of $1 billion. Current balance, $1 billion. Ethan stared at the screen, eyes wide. What the hell? Who just put $1 billion into my bank account? Jake, I have to go. Right now. The moment Ethan Walker saw the massive bank transfer on his phone, he didn't even bother finishing his lunch. He stood up and rushed out of the university cafeteria, his mind completely blank. Before he could reach the door, his phone rang. Ethan stopped, took a deep breath, and answered. Hello. Excuse me, a calm, middle-aged voice came from the other end. Is this Mr. Ethan Walker? Yes. I'm Ethan. Who's calling? My name is Richard Hale. I'm contacting you regarding an inheritance that requires your confirmation. When would you be available? Inheritance? Ethan's heart skipped. Wait, was it you who transferred that money just now? Yes, Richard replied politely. The $1 billion you received is only a small portion of the inheritance. The majority consists of overseas funds, real estate holdings, and corporate assets, which require formal procedures before being transferred to you. Ethan nearly dropped his phone. $1 billion, only a small part. But I'm an orphan, Ethan said instinctively. Where would an inheritance even come from? That's something I'll explain in person, Richard said calmly. If you're free this afternoon, please come to the 38th floor of the Imperial Tower downtown. I'll clarify everything. Ethan hesitated for a few seconds. All right, I'll be there this afternoon. Excellent, Mr. Walker. The call ended. After leaving campus, Ethan returned to the tiny apartment he rented off campus. Because he worked night delivery shifts, often until after 1 a.m., the dormitory curfew made it impossible for him to stay on campus. So he shared a cramped apartment with someone else. The entire place was less than 120 square feet, but for Ethan, it had always been enough. It was only noon. He figured he'd grab a short nap, recharge, and then head to the Imperial Tower. Just as he put his bag down, his stomach betrayed him. Damn. Ethan grabbed a roll of toilet paper and rushed into the bathroom. While sitting on the toilet, he pulled out his phone and started playing a mobile game to pass the time. Then, the bathroom door suddenly opened. A woman in a lace nightgown walked in lazily, rubbing her eyes, clearly half asleep. She stood in front of the mirror, scratching her messy hair, completely unaware that someone was behind her. Ethan froze, because he was still sitting there. The woman didn't notice him at all. She casually reached for the hem of her nightgown and began lifting it, slowly, revealing her slim waist and black suspenders beneath. She had a stunning figure, smooth skin, long legs, and slightly wavy black hair that framed her youthful face. Ethan's brain shut down completely. Then, she looked up. Their eyes met in the mirror. For a split second, silence filled the bathroom. Then, without hesitation, she grabbed everything on the sink, foundation, lipstick, compact powder, and threw it straight at Ethan. You pervert. You stinky jerk. Cosmetics flew everywhere, smacking Ethan square in the face. She bolted out of the bathroom in a panic. Ethan hurriedly pulled his pants up and rushed out after her, only to trip over the sofa and slam his knee painfully. Damn it. When he finally stood up, he shouted toward the bedroom. Lena, are you insane? This woman was none other than Lena Brooks, the girl who shared the apartment with him. Say that again. Her furious voice came from the room. A second later, Lena stormed out. Her expression was dark, her eyes sharp like knives, staring straight at Ethan as if she wanted to kill him. Why did you barge into the bathroom and throw makeup at me? Ethan wiped powder off his face, clearly annoyed. Even if you're a woman, you don't get to bully people like that. Lena clenched her teeth and took 2 aggressive steps forward. You disgusting creep. You hid in the bathroom to spy on me, and you're still acting innocent. What? Ethan jumped. Spy on you? Miss, please think. The bathroom is tiny. Where exactly would I even hide? Lena paused. Her anger cooled just a little. Now that she thought about it, the bathroom really was too small for hiding. Her face flushed slightly. Then why were you in the bathroom? I was already in there. Ethan snapped back. You're the one who barged in. And not everyone stays home all day like you, he added bluntly. Some of us actually work. I've got important business this afternoon, Ethan said coldly. I don't have time to argue with you. At this point, Ethan Walker was genuinely furious. He had only gone to the bathroom. Who could have known Lena Brooks would suddenly barge in without warning? Ethan was an orphan. When he first came to River City for college, he had no support system, no family to rely on. To survive and to support his girlfriend at the time, he rented a cheap apartment off campus and worked nonstop delivering food whenever he wasn't in class. By the time Ethan moved in, Lena had already been living there. Although they had shared the apartment for nearly half a year, the two barely spoke. Ethan attended classes and worked deliveries. Lena stayed locked in her room all day, rarely coming out. To be honest, Ethan had occasionally let his imagination wander. Was this sexy female roommate being supported by someone? She always looked exhausted, no matter when he saw her. But misunderstandings like today had never happened before. Ethan also knew one thing very clearly: Lena never woke up early. That was exactly why he hadn't locked the bathroom door. Who would have thought she'd be up this early today and just walk straight in? After being mocked by Ethan, Lena blinked in anger, taking a moment to process. Then why didn't you lock the door? She snapped. You think the bathroom belongs to your family? She clearly wasn't going to let this go easily. The bathroom light was on. Ethan shot back coldly. Are you blind? Lena was being unreasonable, but Ethan wasn't in the mood to play the gentleman. If she weren't a woman, he might have really lost his temper. You're still talking back? Lena pointed at him furiously. Are you even a man? I'm the victim here. If you don't give me an explanation today, I'm not done with you. Heh, Ethan sneered. Do you really think you're some big celebrity? He glanced dismissively at her and added bluntly, even if you begged me, I wouldn't want to look. You. Lena's face flushed bright red with rage. I don't have time for this, Ethan said impatiently, checking his phone. I've got important business. It was already 1:30 p.m. He grabbed the keys from the table and rushed toward the door. Ethan Walker. You pervert. Get back here. Lena grabbed a pillow from the sofa and hurled it at him. Ethan was already gone. Bang. The security door shook violently as the pillow smashed into it. That woman is terrifying, Ethan muttered, shaking his head as he went downstairs. After leaving the apartment, Ethan jumped onto his electric bike and headed straight toward Imperial Tower. 2 p.m. He arrived at the base of the building. Imperial Tower was the most luxurious commercial skyscraper in all of River City. 68 floors of pure wealth and power. Every floor carried an astronomical rent. The open parking lot outside was filled with luxury cars: Mercedes, Porsche, Bentley. Everyone entering and exiting the building wore tailored suits and polished shoes. Only Ethan, still in his worn yellow delivery uniform, stood out like a sore thumb. The moment he stepped inside, delivery staff used the side fire exit, the receptionist said coldly, frowning at him with obvious disdain. I'm not here to deliver food, Ethan replied calmly. Then why are you here? She snapped. I'm here to meet someone. To meet someone? She scoffed. You're a delivery guy. Who could you possibly be meeting here? Ethan didn't even know the man's name yet. He only wanted to confirm one thing. Was the inheritance real? Ignoring the receptionist, Ethan walked straight toward the elevator. Hey, didn't you hear me? Deliveries use the fire stairs. Stop right there. She hurried after him. Ding. The elevator doors opened. Ethan stepped inside quickly. A sharp cry rang out. He'd entered too fast and slammed straight into someone. Are you blind? Didn't you see anyone standing here? Ethan looked up and froze. Standing in front of him was a stunning young woman, about 23 or 24 years old. She wore a black professional suit, tailored perfectly to her elegant figure. Her legs were long and straight, wrapped in sheer black stockings, flawless and eye-catching. Even with anger written across her beautiful face, she was undeniably captivating. She was holding a cup of coffee. Or she had been. The collision caused the coffee to spill directly onto her chest. "You delivery guy," she shouted angrily. "Is this a place you're allowed to come to? Security, get him out." Seeing Ethan's uniform, her disgust was obvious. "I'm sorry," Ethan said quickly. "I was in a hurry, I didn't see anyone inside." As he spoke, he pulled a tissue from his pocket and instinctively reached out to help wipe the spilled coffee. Pervert." The woman screamed instinctively.